Hi there, so welcome back to another video of me talking about a theme park I went to because I'm too socially awkward to film myself there, and this time it's Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Now, me and my family went to Blackpool for 2 days. We did the Pleasure Beach on the second day. On the night of the first day we went and saw their ice show, Hot Ice XC or whatever it was called. I'm a bit annoyed at it. It was a good show, but they used AI. Like, the first song they played was entirely AI generated, and at least one of the backgrounds they had was AI generated, which I think is just a bit sloppy and lazy from the company. But it wasn't all too bad. I mean, thankfully, after that, we were allowed to kind of wander around the Pleasure Beach for a bit. So, my mum took this picture that I'll probably put on screen now of me, my brother, and my dad stood in front of Invictus, the massive swinging thing, when no one else is there. So, I think that's a pretty cool picture, and I'm happy we got it. So anyways, we stayed in the hotel, Big Blue Hotel. It's a good hotel, would recommend. We get up on the second day and we head into the Pleasure Beach. And the first one we did was Icon, the launch coaster. Absolutely brilliant, as always. I love that thing. Best launch coaster in the UK by a mile. And when me, dad, and my brother got into the station, I saw that on the third row there was only one person waiting, or only one person on the train, and the gates were still open, so I kind of got in there, and so I got the first ride of the entire day, or the first train of the day, of Icon. Still a good ride, as I said, absolutely amazing. And afterwards, I think at that point it was only around about like 20 past 10, and some of the rides weren't going to open until past, so we decided we'd go in queue or get ready to queue for one of the rides that was opening at past. And the one we decided to do, and this was one of the two things that I was most excited for on that day, I'll tell you what the other thing is later. We decided to queue for Invictus, the new massive spinny swingy ride. I don't know how best to describe it. We got on it. Basically, if you've been to Drayton Manor and you've been on Maelstrom, it's that, but it's bigger and the restraints are just a lap bar. So, way better, basically. But, yeah, it was an amazing ride. I would probably say it's the best flat ride in the country. I think it's either that or Toxicator, but I think Invictus does just about edge it out. Don't take that out of context, please. So we decided we do Invictus, absolutely brilliant. We get off of it, and my mum's not big into the big ride, so we decide we'll do a ride that she wants to do. So we go and ride the Wallace and Gromit ride, which is a good dart ride. I enjoy it. It's fun to hop on every now and again. I do it every time I visit just because it's quite a fun ride. And from a very fun, very nice ride to quite literally the worst ride I think I've ever ridden. My brother had never done Infusion, and he kept calling Nemesis Reborn over at Alton Towers, he called that an SLC, which, if you don't know, SLCs stand for Suspended Looping Coaster, or you can just call them the Devil, because they're bullshit. But my brother had never been on Infusion, which is the SLC over at Blackpool, and he kept calling Nemesis Reborn an SLC, so me and my dad thought, we'll take him on it. And while we were in the queue, we thought, it's been like a few years, maybe it won't be as bad as we thought. We get on it, we do it, we get off, and the first thing I think is, no, that's as bad as I thought it was. It's genuinely rubbish. If you have never done Infusion, do it once. If you have done Infusion, never go back on the thing, never set foot in that area. Like, unless you've got someone with you who's never done it before, then go on it, but if you can, avoid it like the plague. So after that, it was around about lunchtime, so me and my brother got a hot dog, and my mum and my dad got jacket potato. There's a jacket potato place at Blackpool, and I think there's a sign outside it that reads like you get 2 potatoes or whatever. So my mum and my dad, being the sensible people they are, they read that and thought, oh, we get like 2 halves of a jacket potato. You get 1 potato sliced in half, put the cheese, the beans, the butter on it, and chuck it out. No, it was genuinely 2 full potatoes given to 2 full potatoes, both sliced in half, chuck it at them with the beans, the cheese, and the butter. So my dad and my mum sat there eating those while me and my brother went off and decided to do some rides. We were going to go and do Icon again, and if you don't know, on Icon, one of the trains has the back 2 rows removed, and instead of the 2 rows there's 1 row that spins, which is called Enzo. I had seen that and gone, ooh, that looks fun, I want to do it. The thing is though, on the website it's £15. In fact, I'll probably chuck up the thing from the website. So on the website, the normal one's £15, or if you want to skip the queue, it's £25. And I had like 20 quid in my account, so we'll go, okay, I'll get 1 ride on it. I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but I think it'll be a waste of money. I clicked to buy the normal one, and I think it pops up something along the lines of buy Enzo £7. And that immediately makes me go, ooh, that's quite good. So I bought that, and whilst I was waiting for that to do its thing, to count down, I was going to the toilet, I walked past Evictus and saw it had no queue, so I basically, without going to the toilet, ran up the ramp, shouted at Alex and brought him down, so me and him got a second ride on Evictus, which was brilliant. And then we got off it, and my Enzo ticket was basically counted down by that point, so I jumped on it. I sat in the seat that when it started, it was facing forward at the start, it was facing closest to the baggage hold. Brilliant. It was a brilliant ride. If you get it at £7, I think it's worth it. £15 is, from what I got on it, way too overpriced, but £7 I think is the max I would pay for it. It's a brilliant ride. Like, it makes the ride way different and way crazier. I love it, but it's not. It's worth like £7 at most. So yeah, I got off Enzo, and my dad wants to do Evictus, so we jump in the queue, and I'm almost certain, if I can remember it, the minute we step through the gates and into the queue, the announcement comes over the loudspeaker that Evictus has stopped working. And that's an interesting thing that I want to mention. So by this point, me and my brother had done Evictus twice, my dad had done it once. When me, my brother and my dad did it the first time, it broke down but came back on a minute or 2 later. When me and my brother went on without my dad, no breakdown, we got straight on. And that does seem like a bit of a coincidence, but spoiler alert, we went on Evictus again later on, and it was still with my dad, and it broke down again. So I'm kind of thinking my dad might be a curse with Evictus, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, Evictus closes right as we get in the queue, so we think, okay, what's nearby? And we come out the queue, I kind of looked over and saw that Launchpad, the shot tower, so the drop tower that kind of shoots you up instead of drops you down, I see that's operating, so I think, okay, we'll go and do that. And I think one of the funny things is Launchpad is near to Valhalla, which, if you don't know what Valhalla is, it's a water ride indoors that gets you absolutely soaked. The funniest thing for that is you can always tell when someone's been on Valhalla, because you will see people in the queue around the park that look like they've been dragged through a pool. And when me, my dad and my brother were queuing for Launchpad, we saw a group of people in the queue who were absolutely drenched. They weren't wearing much either, they were wearing quite skimpy stuff, so I bet they were freezing. But that's their stupidity for going on Valhalla in July. I suppose it's summer, but still. But yeah, we do Launchpad, fun as ever. And we get off it, and I think we decide, we'll go on to the big one, because it was only about 30 minutes. So me and my brother and my dad, we get in the queue. The queue wasn't actually too bad. I think it was just straight into the station and just queuing a bit in there, so not too bad. We get on it, and Jesus Christ, it is rattly as hell now. But that was quite an uncomfortable ride when we did. But I think, honestly, the best way to describe it, I think I had a smoother ride on Infusion. I still rather do Big One, but I think I had a smoother ride on Infusion that day than I did on the Big One. That thing was rattling like all hell. They need to do something with it. But anyways, we get off Big One, battered and bashed, and I decide, I'm going to be stupid and go on the other ride that's really bloody rattly, the Grand National, the racing coaster, because I hadn't done it for years and wanted to, because apparently if you don't sit on wheel seat, it's actually an enjoyable ride. So I get on, and purposefully I purposely get myself into the seats, into the row that's right in the middle of it all. It's a non-wheel seat right in the middle, and yeah, I do actually have a good ride on it. It's not as rattly or janky as it is on a wheel seat, which I was extremely happy about. And I get off and I go, actually that wasn't too bad, so clearly it is just, if you get a wheel seat, you're going to have a horrendous ride. And then my mum hadn't really done much that day apart from just sit around and hold the bags, so we decided to do another ride for her. We went on the Ghost Train. It's always a fun, quirky little ride. I do enjoy doing it. Don't take that out of context either. And yeah, we get off it, and I can't exactly remember what we were going to do then or afterwards, but as we were walking away from it, we passed by Victus and saw that again the queue was tiny, so we jumped back in there, and this is the third time that me and Alex would have done it, and the second time my dad would have done it, and a little while into the queue it breaks down again, so clearly I think my dad might be a curse on a Victus. But we stick it out and we manage to get on it, and it's a brilliant ride, as I said. Either the best or second best flat ride in the country. So we get off of Victus, and I think we decide to do Steeplechase, which is the horse ride, and I think we get to like the stairs that are going up to the platform where you come round and choose your lane, and my dad basically says, nah, you two can do it, so it's just me, brother and me who are now doing it. And I kind of get why, because if you've never been on it, they kind of strap you in with a seat belt onto the horse. Every time it takes a corner, you'll get chucked to the side and your side will get stabbed, and the brakes at the end are incredibly sharp, so you'll actually be riding it and the brakes will go and you're suddenly launched forward, and that seatbelt will jam into your stomach and it hurts like hell. So I'm starting to become less of a fan of it these days, but it's still an interesting ride. And because Enzo had been £7 earlier, I checked, it was still £7, so when we had gotten into the steeplechase queue, I had bought another Enzo ticket, and I went back on it, and this time I chose the one that's closest to the entrance, so the opposite side to which I did last time. And I don't know if it was just because I'd done it later on in the day, and so Icon had had more time to warm up, but I'd say that the side closest to the entrance gate is the best road to do Enzo on. It was absolutely crazy, that one. So if you do it, I would definitely suggest do the one closest to the gates. And it was getting a bit later on in the day. My dad kind of didn't want to do much more, so he kind of sat out, and me and brother went, okay, we'll go and give the big one another chance. Tried to get a non-wheel seat, unfortunately ended up in a wheel seat, but this time I think we were closer to the front, so it was a more bearable ride. Still incredibly janky, but more bearable. And at that point, I think me mum and dad said, right, this will be the last ride we do, and so I thought, okay, I've done one normal Icon ride and 2 Enzos, so I'll balance it out. And I finished the day just as I started and had another ride on Icon. But as I said, brilliant ride, best launch coaster in the UK. If you've never been able to ride it, get out to Blackpool and do it. It's mwah, chef's kiss. So that was my day at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. 15 rides in total, which brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed doing it. It's always a brilliant park to visit for me. And yeah, if you've never been out to Blackpool, I would strongly recommend going out and doing it, even if the only reason you go is for Invictus and Icon. I think those two make the trip worth it, even though it is like 2.5, 3 hours up the road for me. Bit stupid, but oh well. Yeah, I would definitely say go and visit if you've never done it, but that's the end of this. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Sorry for that quick pause, but cheers for watching. Glad you stick around and watch these for whatever reason you do, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.